So before we go putting all these electronics in here, I do want to try and clean this wall in here. You can see how black and dirty and nasty it is. Now this stuff is super hard to get off of here. If you've tried to use degreaser or anything like that, it will not take that off. So what I want to do is try a couple things. First, we're going to go with some old trusty bleach and see what the bleach will do to this black. This is just some Clorox Tilex mold and mildew remover. We'll see if this will take anything off. This does contain bleach, so we'll see what this will do to our black stuff in here. I sure do love this stuff. If you look here, look how outstanding that is. It's coming right off. You still need to kind of wipe it off and take a couple passes at it to get through some of the really hard stains, but I mean, wait till you see what this thing looks like. I went ahead and put a piece of tape there just so you can see it before and after, but let me go ahead and work this side right here along with this wall. I'm just going to keep spraying this stuff on there. Obviously you don't need this necessarily. I mean, you could still use like some bleach in a spray bottle. Just definitely be careful when you're working in a small console like this. Wear gloves, and then also, you know, watch out for breathing. It's definitely super potent, so you don't want to be sitting here breathing bleach in a very tight console like this. So be very, very careful when you're in tight spaces trying to clean stuff like this right here. Oh yeah, that looks outstanding. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish out cleaning out the rest of this console. That's not a problem, but I also want to go ahead and hit these cushions. As you can see, this one's not the best example. This one is a better example. So we also want to take these out. Now bleach is going to do a similar thing to cleaning these, but we need to be way more careful when we're talking about cushions because of the threading and the stitching. So all right here you can see, if you can't, it's kind of hard to see the mold and buildup that's on this, but you can see the stitching is kind of like questionable right now. And so if you try and do old cushions like this with a lot of bleach and you try and do it often, you're going to ruin the threads and the seat cushion's going to fall apart. So we need to not do that. Oh yeah, now that looks really, really good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks outstanding compared to what it did before. There are quite a few spots that I could probably hit a little bit better up here on the top, but again, you know, it's what it is. Yeah, I probably should have went ahead and cleaned this previously before I went ahead and put the dash panel and all this stuff in. And believe me, no one is more upset about the decisions that have been made here besides me. There's no way that you care more about it than I do. So there are a couple spots up by the steering wheel that I didn't get, and over by the back. That's not gonna be the end of the world. It looks beautiful in there now. So this right here can go back in. That panel right there, I just need to clean it. That can go back up, and I'm going to be building the thing for the batteries to sit on. But before that, just in this video, what I want to do is also come up here and clean this cushion here, because I want to pull this cushion off, and behind here is where we're going to be putting the battery switches. So I'm actually going to be building a box that will fit in that little spot right there, it'll be there, and all the battery switches and breakers will go right there for trolling motor, stuff like that. I'm going to make this cushion flip down, have it on a hinge and a spring, so that way you can pop it down, turn your battery switches off, as well as plug the charger in. So that is some fabricating that I have to do. I don't know about the charger because I don't know about a cord sticking through here, unless I figure out a way for this to be covered by a console where this doesn't need to be up, but that's another story. Now this right here, again, like I was saying, you can use the bleach on this, but bleach is very hard on the vinyl. I went ahead and picked up some other stuff. This is a vinyl clean. It's supposed to be all right for vinyl, so we're going to try this and see what this does as far as cleaning this cushion before we go ahead and use the mold and mildew with the bleach, because that will definitely get that thing to be clean, but it is very hard on the stitching. And old cushions like this that are nice and hard, you don't want to use too much bleach, or else you can ruin the cushion, ruin the threads, and it'll fall apart. So we don't want to do that. But then after that, we definitely need to go ahead and put something else on top of it. You need something like this. This is a vinyl guard. Now this is Starbright. I'm not saying that Starbright is the best. There's also 303 and other types, but the main thing is you want something that's going to moisturize and add UV protection, because if we clean this cushion and we don't put anything on there, it's going to absorb dirt and get dirty super quick. I mean, within like a week or two, this is going to look exactly like that, because the material here, this vinyl or upholstery or whatever, you know, you would call this exact material, it is going to absorb dirt just like it has now. And once we clean all this out, if we don't fill those pores with something like a wax or a protector, this right here that moisturizes it and, you know, fills the holes, the pores, it's going to get dirty really quick. So make sure that you put something on it after you get the thing clean. One thing I forgot to mention is you will need a brush. Like, I mean, this is a detail brush, but you can get any brush. I mean, you can get a 2-pack of these for like $5 at Walmart. So just squirt the stuff on there and it will let it sit for like 30 seconds to a minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and use the brush to kind of work in all these grooves. Also, remember what I said about acrylic and your windshield, stuff like that. Like this one is really close to the windshield, so make sure you don't get any kind of cleaner on the windshield. The moisturizer might be all right for the acrylic, but the chemicals, you definitely don't want that because it'll cause crazing. So try not to get any chemicals, especially the bleach and that stuff, on your windshields if you have a plexiglass windshield. Stuff seems to work pretty good. I don't think it works as good as the bleach, but it's not nearly as harmful for the upholstery as the bleach is, so there is that. Okay, so that's like 3 passes and about 10 minutes worth of work, and it's still, this is just too old. There's too much mold. It's too embedded in the upholstery, so we are definitely going to need to go ahead and bust out the old Clorox mold and mildew, and this stuff is going to work the magic. So let me just get this sprayed on here, let it sit for a minute or two, and then we'll work it with the brush and we'll see if it takes all this mold and mildew out of this cushion. All right, so there is the end of it. This stuff did pretty well, but obviously this has been on here for probably 3 years, so that's a very thick amount of mold and mildew to get off of there. So this kind of did it. I bet if I tried harder it would work a little bit more, but I'm lazy, so I went with the bleach. You can also use I think it's called Stark. You can get that. That's really good. But if you notice, these are really old cushions, so you can see these spots here. It looks like they're dirty, but when you look close, as far as I know, this right here is actually just the vinyl deteriorating. So it's not that it's really dirty, it's that the vinyl itself, the upholstery, is deteriorating. It's a vinyl whatever it is. So if you squeeze it, you can see how it's like cracking. and that's just something to think about. So you don't want to just sit here and kind of try and scrub stuff like this unless somebody would like to put in the comments a better way. Maybe you know something that I don't know and there is a way to make that white again. But as far as I know, when it gets to that and it gets to that green color and you can push it and it starts to crack, that's just the vinyl itself, the actual upholstery, whatever you want to call it, is deteriorating, and there isn't really a way to get that out of there. Now there might be some kind of a paint or something, I mean, I don't know. So if you know, let us know in the comments. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean the other side of this. And that looks 100 times better than it did before. Again, you know, if somebody knows something more about this stuff right here, but I'm pretty sure that that's just a deterioration of the vinyl. I don't think that is like dirt or anything like that, and that there's no way to get that out. If you do know of something, just let me know. Now, you wiped it, I've sprayed it all down with water. That's definitely something that you want to do whenever you're using bleach on the boat, is you want to spray everything down with water so that way it gets all that stuff off the boat. Now we've dried it off with a rag. Now we're going to take our vinyl guard and we're going to spray this stuff down and wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, and that will protect this vinyl so that way it won't be sitting here sucking in dirt, mold, and getting dirt and deteriorating any more than it already is. And there you go, looking really good. I left that stuff on there a little bit thick in some places, but this is sitting out here, it gets some sun in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and get some polish so I can polish this windshield to make sure that that is also got some sealant on there, just in case I got any kind of overspray on there of any of the bleach or anything. But other than that, this is looking, that came out really good. I need to do the other cushion, same thing, but you don't need to see that. You've seen what this is. Again, anybody that knows if you can fix this or not, let me know. I've never been able to successfully do it, so if you have, let me know what you did to do that.